So firstly, welcome to this presentation on resetting your 2015 goals. We're going to go through quite a lot of things, but this is a holistic presentation about creating a healthier and wealthier life. As of 2:05, we've got 90 people on this call, which is fabulous, but it also means that at the end, I might have quite a lot of questions. If I don't get to your question, I'll try to respond later in an email, but I'm going to try my best. Even if this call takes 2 hours, I'll try my best to answer as many questions as is possible during a 1 hour call. I'm going to try to keep the presentation to about 40 minutes, and this is the agenda. Firstly, I'll tell you who I am. Then I'll give you examples of previous goals that I've set and what I learned by setting those goals. I think setting goals is one of the fundamental reasons I have achieved the things that I have achieved by the age of 31. And then I'll set some assumptions that I think that you should be making for your own goals. Firstly, I want you to assume certain things as you start setting your goals. And also we'll start with visualizing how you want to live your life at 60 so that you can set the appropriate goals today. We'll go through your health goals, your income goals, your lifestyle goals, your business goals, and I specifically choose business because I am most interested in reaching out to women that want to build a 6-figure business from home like I have. And I think that's just the biggest way in order to achieve a flexible life where you set the pace and nobody else tells you what to do. Then we'll set your 2015 Getting to Wealthy goals. As you might know, might not know, I have a channel called Getting to Wealthy on YouTube. Then we'll look at obstacles that might get in your way and how you can think your way around them. And then we'll ultimately conclude about what this whole thing is about. And at the end, I'll tell you a little bit about the Money Spot program, which is a program that I run on building a 6-figure beauty business. You don't have to join it, and whether you join it or not, this presentation will be beneficial to you. There are 98 people dialed in now, and I think by 2:15 we could have 200 people dialed in because quite a lot of people subscribed for the presentation. So who am I? My name's Heather Katsongo Woodward. I'm originally Malawian. I was brought up there. I went to high school there, and I actually only came to Britain in 2002 when I got a scholarship to the University of Cambridge, which is the Harvard of Britain, essentially. I'm the founder of a website called nenonatural.com. I started that in 2012, and via nenonatural.com, I create hair care products, and I blog about kinky and curly hair, which is one of my passions, and it actually started off when my hair started thinning out due to 20 years of using relaxer. Although I used to take quite good care of my hair, it got tired of it. I actually started life off in investment banking, and I was very fortunate to get a position at the coveted Goldman Sachs in corporate finance, and then I went to HSBC and I was a derivative structurer. I grew my business nenonatural.com from 0 to over 400,000 Facebook fans and to over 40,000 email subscribers in under 2 years, and that is one of the primary reasons I was able to grow it into a 6-figure revenue business on Amazon. NenoNatural is actually my 5th business, and it's done quite well, quite rapidly, based on this Money Spot program methodology that I created. I'll start off with examples of previous goals. The reason I'm choosing to start off in this way is that when you set your goals, you should set them without limitation and without thinking, oh, this is stupid, this will never happen. Because of a lot of the time when I set my own goals, I kind of thought this might not happen. But what I learned is that all goals are realistic. What might not be realistic is your time frame. So give yourself a big leeway. I'll tell you about my goal of getting into Cambridge University, although I wasn't the smartest person in my class. My goal of buying my first house, which happened when I was 22. My goal of building my dream house, which was completed last year. My goal of widening my network of people that are in influential positions, and ultimately joining a business program that had me coming 3rd in a competition called Pitchfest about 2 weeks ago. So Cambridge. When I was a student in Malawi, I was going to a reasonably good school and I wanted to go to the University of Cambridge, but that didn't happen until a little bit later on. I was sat one day in a lesson and 2 of the cleverest people in the class, I was about 4th or 5th cleverest at that time, it was the 2nd year of high school, were sitting down and in front of the whole class were chatting about how they might never achieve a string of A's. And as they were talking, I was like, a string of A's would be complete fantasy to me. But I was listening to them anyway, and I was thinking, well, even though I think it would never really happen, I'm getting mostly A's, but I sometimes get B's, and I don't know why I'm getting B's in this subject. I'm going to set the goal of becoming an A, because the only thing of getting a string of A's, because the only thing you need to do is just work hard, and you know what? It might happen. That was the beginning of the second year. By the end of that second year, I actually managed to get a string of A's and 1 C. I must have been atrocious at that subject. I think it was home economics. And I was like, you know what? If we're going to be silly about this, why don't I just have the goal of going to Cambridge? If it happens, it happens. But when I set the goal of going to Cambridge, I actually had no idea if I could afford it. I didn't think I could afford it. And 2, I couldn't actually see a realistic path of it happening. But I set the goal anyway. So what I learned from that is set the goal even if the path is not clear. And you should set your goal even if the competition looks stiff. So all the people that were around me, I thought were all capable of achieving it. And there were people that were better than me in the class, but I said there's competition. There's always going to be competition. I'll set that goal. So as you set your goals here, don't care about the competition. Think about what you want to do and set your goal even if you're not sure how exactly it's going to happen. And in this picture, you see me at something called Halfway Hall, which is a dinner you have in Cambridge when you're halfway through your time there. And this is a friend of mine there called Helen, who's actually still a good friend today. Then the next goal that I achieved, this is Cambridge as well. As you can see, I'm the only black face you can see in this picture. I know someone's going to ask, were you the only black person there? Well, Cambridge is made up of 31 colleges. I was in the third largest that had about 400 students. And yes, I was the only black girl in all my 3 years there. There were 3 black guys in my time whilst I was there. And although there were no examples of people like me, that didn't stop me from setting that goal. If you've got a certain goal that you want, whether it's public office, building a business, being first in your class, it doesn't matter if you don't see anyone like you, just go for it. My first house. When I started my first job, I decided to set an unrealistic savings goal, but I only knew in hindsight it wasn't realistic. But I said, at the end of this year, I want to be able to buy my first house. So I'm going to save so much, I'm actually hardly going to even have money to go out. So when I went out with friends, I was actually stingy with myself. I'd drink water, I'd get the cheapest thing on the menu. And at the end of that first year, I bought my first house. So I got my first job midway through 05, and this is December 06 that you can see in this picture. I just bought the house. You can see the sold sign on the house. I was 22 years old, and I actually hadn't written down the goal of buying the house, but I'd set down my savings plan and I stuck to it. By the end of the year, I didn't save as much as I'd set out to because that was not realistic, but I'd actually saved enough to buy a home in a very decent area near a train station, which I now am able to rent out to other people and get an income from. And as it happens, when you buy a house, if it happens to go in value, you have a source of funds there that you can use to fund a business if that's what you want to do. So even if you don't write your goals down specifically, and it always helps to write down your goals, just set clear steps for reaching those goals, implement them day by day, month by month, and you will get to your goal. Then this is my dream house. I built this house starting from 2009, and it only officially finished in 2014. I didn't know it would take 5 years, and my salary wasn't actually high enough to build the house when I started building it. I started a small business on the side in 2009, and I took a loan so that the money from the business would pay the loan down. And whenever the loan was paid down, I'd take another loan and then slowly chip away at that loan in order to build my dream house. So if your salary isn't high enough, start a small business and it might help to fund your goals. Not every business works, and I have had a couple of businesses that didn't work, but I've stuck at it, and by sticking to it, I've managed to fund my dream house. And I've worked towards my goals even when I'm not clear if I'll achieve the goal. In 2009, I thought it would take 2 years to build this house, but it took 5 years, and I think those 5 years just flew by. As you set your goals in this call, if 2 years sounds like a lot of time, just try to work towards the goal anyway, although it feels like it's a long time, and it did in 2009. You'll surprise yourself at how fast time flies as you're working towards your goal. Then finally, this is the final example of a goal that I reached. I joined a business program called the Key Person of Influence. That's what KPI stands for. And in order, the whole program is set around 5 things that they want you to do: publish a book and pitch. And the whole thing finishes with pitching, and you get to pitch to a panel of judges. If you can see in this picture, and I'm assuming everyone, I can see some questions here. I suggest you use your phone and just mute your phone. Oh, the call is breaking up. Is the call breaking up for everybody? So, Pitch Fest. Yeah, some people can still hear me, especially those by phone. I suggest if you can't hear me, dial in by phone. I've got 83 online and 34 on the phone. Okay, I'll go on in a couple of minutes. I'll check. In this picture, you can see a panel of 5 judges. There's only one female judge, and she's a woman called Dale Murray, CBE. So she's got a knighthood from the Queen. And I would never have the ability to be exposed to so many people that are interested in entrepreneurship, and I'd never have the opportunity to pitch to such a high panel of judges. So I decided I wanted to be top 3 in Pitch Fest, and ideally I wanted to be the top 1. I had a buddy on the program, and we used to practice our pitch together every week, and as we got closer to the competition, twice a week. And on that particular day, I came 3rd, which was my minimum goal. I wanted to be 3rd, 2nd, or 1st, ideally 1st, but 3rd was fantastic, especially as I was the youngest person to be 3rd. The person who won was 52. The person who came 2nd is 44, 45, and I'm 31. And I learned that if you practice by sharing your goals with someone, like I did with my buddy, and my buddy came 2nd. So by pushing each other along, and you should certainly try to find someone who you can push. Sorry, if you can't hear, try to dial in by phone. When you are dialed in by phone, you can hear me better. So, as I said, when I worked with someone in order to achieve the goal, I achieved it so much faster. So, hurrying further along, age is not an obstacle. If you think you're 50 and hence too old, you're not too old. You can achieve exactly what you want. For instance, the founder of KFC started that in his 60s, and before the time he died, he'd made it a roaring success. If you're very young and you think people won't take you seriously, don't worry about that. People will take you seriously if you're dedicated towards what you're doing. Age is not an obstacle. So, and motherhood isn't an obstacle either. I did Pitch Fest with a 5-week-old baby. As you can see in this particular picture, people were coming to me at the end, asking for more information about what I pitched about, which in this case happened to be the Money Spot program. And everyone was being congratulated. These are some of the women that won. And it was such an enriching experience that I wouldn't have had if I hadn't set the goal of trying out to pitch at Pitch Fest. So why set goals? You have to set goals even if the path isn't clear towards reaching that goal, because it just focuses your mind. You need to plan with a long enough range so that you know, even if it takes you a couple of years, it's okay. A couple of years is not a long time. What I find with a lot of people that call me is that they haven't actually been trying long enough, and their expectations of how fast stuff happens is quite unrealistic. And life only changes when you set very specific goals. If you just think, oh, I would ideally like this or ideally like that, that's not a goal, it's a fantasy. And fantasies will remain fantasies if you don't set specific action. Set the goal first and then figure out how you'll get there, and then take the action. A big guy in the marketing sphere called Brian Tracy says only 3% of adults have written goals and everyone else works for them. So do you want to be in that 3%? I think you do, and that's why you signed up for this call. So stay tuned and we'll go through your goals. Did anyone receive the email that I sent that just set out health, wealth, and the things that I needed you to write through in this presentation? Oh, fantastic. I see lots of yeses. Okay, if you've got it printed out, you can write on it. If you don't have it printed out, just write on paper. So the assumptions we're making, as we set these goals, I want you to allow yourself to believe that all things are possible, because all things really are possible. The only limitations are in your head. Every goal is totally possible, but the deadline might be unrealistic. So you can think as crazily as you want, but think that, okay, it might take me time to achieve this. A couple of people are saying, no, I didn't get the email. That's possibly because I sent it yesterday before you signed up. So if you don't have that piece of paper, it's okay. I'll send it at the end of this call so you'll have it. For each big goal that you set, we're going to set smaller goals or steps that you need to do in order to achieve it. Give every goal that you write down a deadline. It could be a deadline that's this year, next week, it could be next year, or in a few years' time. But give it a deadline so you think of it as specific. Then I want you to write your goals in the present tense. So don't say I will do this, or I want, or I want you to say I do, I am, and I have. And I've got examples of how I write my goals in this presentation. So for instance, if you want a 3-bedroom, 2-bathroom house by December 2016, which is next year, and that's almost 2 years, just say I live in a 3-bedroom, 2-bathroom house in December 2016. It just makes it so much more realistic. It's like, yes, I do this. And if you visualize yourself with it, it makes it seem like it's really gonna happen. Before we do the specific life goals, please visualize how you want your life to be at the age of 60. Personally, I don't want to work because I have to work at the age of 60. I want to work because I want to work. I want to live in a fully mortgage-free house. I want to be able to give my children a sum of money that helps them start out in life to either buy a house or get a deposit on a house, or maybe pay part of their tuition that they can't fund with loans. I want to live without problems, and I want my my investments to produce enough income such that it funds my lifestyle fully. If you have any of the same goals, write them down. If 60 is not the age by which you want to achieve this, and in my particular case, I want to have achieved it earlier than 60, ideally by 40, 45, write whatever number you want. So everything you do now is working towards that, but in the current time, you want to enjoy the life that you're working towards, this ideal life you're visualizing. Health. If you don't have the piece of paper I sent yesterday, just write down health in a notebook. How could your health be more perfect? What's your ultimate health goal? In my case, I want to weigh 65 kilos or wear a size 10 dress. If I'm weighing 65 kilos, I do wear size 10 dresses. So I weigh 65 kilos by 30 June, and I've set 30 June because I'll be on holiday in Malawi by the lakeside. So what's your health goal? In order to achieve this goal, I need specific steps. In my particular case, and you can copy what I've written here, I walk at least 10,000 steps every day, or at least I try to. I jog 5K twice a week on Tuesdays and Thursdays, or since I just gave birth, I don't stress myself too much, I can fast walk it. I swim at least once a week. I don't eat processed foods from Monday to Friday. I eat X calories per day on average. You set your X calories, and I usually set it at about 1700, but I'm breastfeeding, so I'm not being too strict. 2000, 2500 calories. These are ideally what you should be doing. I am not specifically doing these things right now because my priority is making sure I'm eating well for my child, but these are examples of what you can set in order to reach your own health goal. Don't be overambitious. Next, income and wealth goals. How much do you want to earn this year? If you actually earn what you want to earn, just put down that number. That's fine. If it's not what you want to earn, then make a realistic adjustment upwards of how much you would like to earn. So if you earn 1,200 a month, put it to 1,500. If you earn 1,500, put 2,000. Whatever is ideal for you. And then set steps like getting another job, or asking your boss for a raise, selling things that you don't need on eBay. If you've got a craft, trying to sell products related to your craft in order to achieve that particular income. How much do you want to earn in 3 years' time? What my goal is, I live in a mortgage-free house in 2018. When do you want to live in a mortgage-free house by? Like, is that a specific goal for you? If it is, note it down. Rochelle says she didn't receive it. By the way, can you read each other's comments? That's very interesting that you can read each other's comments. Great. Then you'll know not to ask the same questions I get. Oh, perfect. Perfect. So you know that there's loads of you in this call. We actually got 145 people on the call right now. Perfect. And yes, I've seen your messages. I will mail the piece of paper. It wasn't complicated. It just had some headings like health, wealth, and business. I just wanted it to guide you as you made these goals so that you can stick it up on the wall after this call is over. Lifestyle. What's your desired family lifestyle? When I think about lifestyle, I don't think about just me. I think about how my husband and my children and my mom and dad and my sisters fit into it. So personally, I don't commute to a job. So this is my ideal lifestyle. I may not have achieved it yet. The first one I don't commute to a job. I work from home, and I was fortunate last year to actually build my own home office. I haven't uploaded the transformation of my garage into a home office onto YouTube yet, but I will in due course. I work from home in a home office, not a bedroom. When I first started working from home, I did work from a bedroom, and I was like, you know what, this is not feasible. I want a home office. It cost about $30,000, £20,000 in order to build my home office, but my business produced enough money for that dream to become a reality. The mortgage of my primary home is 0 by age 40. So I'm not saying I want a mortgage, no mortgage on my home by age 40. It is. By age 40, the mortgage of my primary home is 0. And it could be achieved earlier, but actually I'd rather reinvest any extra income in building a portfolio of other houses. That's why I haven't put the age of 35. I have a portfolio of 12 properties by age 45. Virtual assistants do most of my work by age 34. Fulfillment houses stock all my products, and if you don't know what fulfillment houses, they're like warehouses whose facilities you can connect to your own website, so that as soon as someone orders something online, they do all the posting and packing for you. And that's one of the primary reasons my time is very free. Contract manufacturers make all my products at competitive prices. So if you want to start a business, that's how I do it in order to save myself time. I have manufacturers that make my products, send them straight to fulfillment houses, and that means that my time is saved and I can write more blogs, do more videos on YouTube, hang out with my family more. I go out to cafes, lunch, dinner whenever I want. I currently already, that goal is achieved. I'm surrounded by ambitious, high-achieving friends, and we lunch together often. And in order to achieve this goal, I joined that Key Person of Influence program that I talked about earlier in the presentation, because by the end of 2013, I felt like working from home was kind of lonely, and I needed to meet more people that were like-minded, because all my friends were in regular jobs, and I needed people that were in entrepreneur jobs and like lifestyles and had the same kind of problems that I did, so that we could solve problems together. And in 2014, that really happened for me because I went out to look for these people. Laverne says, I'm currently looking up manufacturers, so this is all useful to know. Laverne, there's a fantastic LinkedIn group that I'll tell you about at the end of this program, where you can find manufacturers to make quite a lot of things for you. Ultimately, I live a very flexible life. It's unrestricted by the 9 to 5, and I'm so passionate about helping other women to live this kind of lifestyle, because I see that a lot of my friends are in jobs that they don't specifically enjoy, but they don't know the way out. They're like, oh, Heather, I really wish I could live your lifestyle. I really wish I could work from home. I really wish I could start a business and spend more time with my kid. And I'm like, but you can. You really can. There's nothing stopping you. There's just specific steps that you need to set. When I started working from home, it started off with wanting to work from home, and it didn't happen overnight. I actually set the goal of working from home in 2009, and I decided the things that I needed to do before I could make this a reality would take me until 2012. And 2012 came by like this. I was like, how did 3 years pass like that? So if that's what you want to do, it's all possible. Now, for business and career goals, what sort of business would you like to build? Write this on your piece of paper. How much profit would you like your business to earn every month? If the business is going to involve you and a partner, and you are, let's say, 2 people, and you want, say, let's call it randomly, £10,000 of profit per month, then put 20,000, because obviously half the profit will belong to your business partner. How would you like to connect or reconnect? Who would you like to connect or reconnect with this year to help your business? Your business cannot flourish in isolation. You need to connect with people of influence. You need to connect with manufacturers, fulfillment houses, friends that might give you the knowledge that you need to progress. Think really hard about the people that you know and the people that you should hang around with that could give you the relevant knowledge. What's in it for them? Oftentimes, when we approach people to ask them for something, they'll be quite distracted and they're unlikely to come through with what you want unless you can immediately show them their benefit. That's so key in any partnership. Everybody's busy, everyone's trying to build their own life. So the moment that you can show them that there's something in it for them, the more that they'll be, the better it'll be for you, because they'll actually take action. Success is totally a team sport. So, our 2015 Getting to Wealthy goals. What are your top 3 goals in 2015 that you want to achieve? For instance, one of my Getting to Wealthy goals is that I'd love to finalize my dream of having a product line of shampoos and conditioners. I've been working on it since early 2014. We've come up with the perfect formulations. Now we just need to make sure that it's approved by the various bodies, fine packaging, and I really want that to be a reality in 2014. By default, we're going to set the 31st of December as the deadline for your goals, but you can set early if you like. Would you like to write or publish a book? Note that down. Would you, like me, like to launch a new product line? Do you want to start a blog or a vlog? If you do, how many blog posts are you going to write a week? Blog posts were one of the reasons I started getting 250,000 people traffic-wise to my website per month. So blog writing, although it can feel time consuming, is so beneficial in the long run, because lots of people end up coming to your blog without you having to pay for them to come to your blog. They'll Google something and you end up coming one of the top results if you've got significant, well-written content. If you want to start a video log, how many videos are you going to upload a week? And nowadays, if you upload videos to YouTube, they quickly upgrade you to partner and actually share you 55% of the income that they make from adverts that are watched during the videos that you've uploaded, which is a fantastic little earner. Some people who have done significantly well on YouTube, and there are actually thousands of them, can live on just the money that they make on YouTube. Oh, Sabira says, I'm so loving this. She's in Cape Town. Thank you. Obstacles. Now, the biggest reason people don't start anything is that they see something that's standing in their way and they don't actually know how they're going to jump over it. Look at each goal that you've written in health and in wealth and note down what you think might stop you from doing it. Is it laziness? Because realistically, sometimes I have to say to myself, I could have done it, but I was very lazy today, or I was very lazy this week. And sometimes I'm too lazy to do something for a whole month. And if I don't enjoy a task, I can just kind of procrastinate it and do the tasks that I enjoy. So is laziness a problem for you? Time management. Is time management a problem for you? It's a problem for a lot of people because there's so many things that are fun to do that you'd rather be doing. And sometimes building a life and building a business involves a lot of tasks that we don't actually enjoy. So if poor time management is a problem for you, then the calendar that I sent you yesterday, and for those that received both attachments, it's a calendar for all of 2015. That is a very great tool that I specifically use for managing my time. Don't worry if you didn't get it. I'll email it at the end of this call because the software I'm using tells me everyone that attended the call. A lack of funds or knowledge about how to obtain funds, is that a problem for you? Because if you, just by you writing down that this is an obstacle, you're going to start thinking about how to jump over that obstacle. Is a lack of connections, like people that know things, a problem for you? or a lack of knowledge on how to build a network problematic? Do you have a lack of skills? Are they things that you don't know how to do that are stopping you from making your dream a reality? For instance, you might be like, I don't know how to build a website, so you're not doing it. Or you don't have knowledge on where to find manufacturers or which fulfillment houses to use. Write down all the things that you feel are standing in the way of you becoming wealthier or healthier, and you will start immediately to think about, I could possibly do this. Do you have a fear of failure? Fear of failure is one of the biggest reasons people don't do what they want to do. And sometimes it's from within, you just fear doing something yourself, and sometimes it's because of other people's criticisms. So someone might just tell you, oh, I don't think that's going to work, and then you just sort of start doubting yourself and you don't progress that thing. It can only take one comment to actually stop you doing the thing you want to do. And in my recent blog that I put out on katonga.com/wealth blog, I talked about Sarah Blakely, the founder of Spanx. She's a female billionaire, and she says she was so afraid of other people's criticisms that she didn't tell anyone that she was starting Spanx until the business was like on its way. So this woman is a billionaire, and she was so afraid of people's criticisms that she wouldn't tell them. So it's so natural to have a fear of failure, whether it's from within or from other people's criticisms. From the comments, June says, fear is my biggest problem. Joy says, other people's criticisms can be a real downer. Yeah, Joy, it really can. Rochelle says, I love this too. God bless you for even sharing this with others. I'm actually enjoying setting goals with everyone, because as I was writing this presentation this week, I was thinking, I'm setting my goals too. And I was thinking, yeah, this is a problem for me too. This month particularly, as my baby's just under 2 months, I've allowed myself to be lazy, but I was like, you know what? I'm gonna have to stop letting myself get away with the excuse that, oh, I had to attend to my baby, because he's not a difficult baby. So sometimes laziness can be a problem for me too. So ultimately, you are responsible for how your life ends up. If you have the right goals, you have the power to live the life that you want. And when you set your goals, you need to visualize you achieving them and living the life that you ideally want. Set weekly goals at the beginning of the week using the calendar that I sent you. I personally print off the calendar because at the end of the day, I tick off the things that I managed to achieve. And it just so happens that when you can see the goals that you've written in front of you, you'll feel more guilty for not achieving them. Somehow, if they're just hidden somewhere on your computer, you just don't end up you don't feel as guilty. So I strongly recommend that when I send you this calendar at the end of this call, I'll send it within the next 2 or 3 hours, you actually make the effort to print it off, whether you have to go to town to do it if you don't have a printer at home. Print it off. I usually print off the whole year because the months just go by in a flash, and write your goals down and tick them off at the end of every day. Write your goals at the beginning of every week. Each day, I number the items that I want to do from 1 to whatever. And 1 is always the top priority thing on that list. It's the thing that will benefit my life, and it should be the thing that will benefit your life and your business the most. That should come first. Not the task that you enjoy doing the most. Make the thing that will make the most difference to your life first, and don't do the next task until task 1 is complete. Before you finish work every night, check whether any changes need to be made, because sometimes you'll be unrealistic in terms of what you can achieve in a day. I frequently do that. So you have to move the task to the next day and reorder the tasks for that day. I've got a few questions. June, I'm with you. I'm always so worried that I'll fail, that I become paralyzed. That's Renee. Oh, Renee, that's a shame. Don't worry. Fear is something everyone goes through. Even now that I've been earning 6 figures on Amazon, I still have fears that make me not want to reinvest in new stuff when I could actually reinvest and do even better. Heather, where does your inspiration come from? Shireen. To a certain degree, my mom and my dad, and the same fear of failure is actually what makes me take action. I'm so afraid of letting myself down that I just do it. Yola, I have ideas and skills, but don't set goals. Yola, I hate to tell you this, but everyone has ideas, and most people have skills, but they just don't make things happen, and don't end up in that class of people who have ideas but just sit on them. And then when someone does them, they'll be like, oh, I had that idea. Yeah, but someone else did it. Rose says, Great book on fear. Feel the fear and do it anyway. Yep, I've heard it. I've heard of that one, but I haven't read it. How to turn your fear and indecision into confidence and action. April says, do you have help with the baby? Not particularly. My husband comes home in the evening. In the first month, my mom was here, so I'm mostly doing everything on my own, and I managed to do about 2 or 3 hours of work every day, usually more like 2 hours. My baby falls asleep at 10 p.m. and I'll usually work from 10 p.m. until midnight, and then I'll fall asleep and then do the night feeds. During the day, if my baby has a low sleep, I know they say you should sleep as well, but because he sleeps so well at night, I sleep well at night, so I take that opportunity to answer whatever emails I can. So whatever your situation is, you just have to work around it. Pauline, thank you. It says, you say you're a true inspiration and it's great that you're willing to share your knowledge to help other people achieve. God bless you. Thanks, Pauline. Danielle says, copy that, Rose. Great and inspirational read by Susan Jeffers. Oh, I love that it's by a woman. We need more female authors. Lashana says, can I send these PowerPoint slides at the end of this as well? I wasn't going to, but yeah, okay, I don't see any problem. I'll send, for everyone who attended the call, I will send you the slides. For people that did not attend the call, I'll only send them the recording. Ryan Brown. Is Ryan Brown from Elkridge a guy? This is so motivating. Yola says, true. Laverne, gaining knowledge is one thing, but using it has been a major stumbling block for me, plus fear and finances. Laverne, that is so true. I've got a friend who this year spent, oh, Ryan is a girl. Hey Ryan, you're my first female Ryan. I have a friend who spent about, I think, £12,000. That's almost $20,000 this year on coaching programs. And as a month ago, 2 months ago, she hadn't implemented a single thing. There is no point investing in a program and not implementing it. Implementing is all that matters. Anyway, I'm going to get carried away with reading comments. So let me go back to the presentation and I'll come back to the comments. Yes, I will email a printable version, Jeanette. Oh, Laverne wants to be an inspiration to her kids. That is one of the biggest things that I want to do as well. Dava says, what motivated you to give up your job? Well, when I worked in investment banking, I felt that everybody around me was making lots of money, but they weren't spending much time with their families. And for me, personally, a life where I don't have people that I love and spend time with is not a life worth living. What's the point of having kids when you're dropping them off at daycare at 7 a.m. and you're knocking off work at 6 or 7 p.m. By the time you get home, you have 1 hour with them. They go to bed and you only see them properly at the weekend. And sometimes you even have to work during the week. So that's what motivated me to quit my job. And when I quit my job, I was earning a 6-figure salary in pounds, which in dollars would mean it was over $200,000. But I was like, no amount of money is worth you not spending time with your family and the people that you love. The only thing that matters in life is the fulfillment I get from the people that I love and doing things with them, spending evenings with them, playing with my kids. So I wanted a much more flexible life. And I was like, I'd rather earn like, the same salary and work from home, or even a slightly lower salary and work from home and have that full and fulfilling life. So that's it in a nutshell. Dava says, I don't think that I have the courage to give up my job since it's safe and traditional. My job was safe, although investment banking isn't that traditional. But I was so passionate about the flexible life thing that I did it. And the day that I quit my job, I didn't feel like, yay, I've quit my job. I actually felt sad. I liked my manager. My manager was a nice guy and my manager liked me. So it was actually quite hard for me to quit my job. Thank you. This is worth not sleeping in on this Saturday morning. That's Natalie. Natalie, you know what? I love it when I have things that get me out of bed. Because sometimes I'm like, oh, I could stay long in bed. But when I have something that's going to be fun to do, I get out of bed. Carrie says, when you help other people, you help yourself. God bless you, Heather. Thanks, Carrie. Okay, I'm going to come back to the comments later. Because given we have 150 people in this call, I could be reading comments forever. So, ultimately, I want you to set ambitious goals. I want you to set steps to work towards those goals. And I want you to visualize you really living the life that you want and overcoming your fears or feeling those fears and just doing what you want to do anyway. So what's the solution? Now, I don't want this next part of the presentation to be like a sales spiel. I don't mind whether you join my MoneySpot program or not, but I just wanted to tell you a little bit about the program, so that you know that there's a hub of knowledge if you wanted to join it. And once I've gone through these slides, I'll answer as many questions as you guys want me to answer, even if it takes us over the 1 hour and a half point or 2 hour point, because I'm really passionate about hearing the things that you are facing. And I want to answer your questions so that maybe you'd benefit from another webinar where I answer specific questions and talk more fully on specific issues. And I'm willing to do that. So with regard to business success and living a flexible life, I created the MoneySpot program. It wasn't actually a thing until I'd actually done it myself. I played around with lots of branding, marketing, and distribution techniques before I called it the MoneySpot program. To make money from a product, I came up with these 3 elements and realized that they have to be very much aligned in order for you to do well. When these 3 elements are in place, you hit what I call the money spot. And that's the point where these things are so optimized that you make the most amount of revenue that your business is going to make. And I specialize in product businesses. I used to say a beauty business because I'm in the beauty business with regards to hair. But a few people that have done the program and have coached on the side have been like, Heather, this is not just beauty. There are lots of products that fit into this. So now I just say product business. But it doesn't work with service business as well. So for example, some people contacted me about real estate business. It doesn't work for real estate unless you're selling products also. So the branding element is what makes you different to everyone else. A lot of people ask me, I want to start a business like X, but there's so many other people that do X, so won't it just be like another thing? No, it won't if you actually brand yourself in an appealing way. The MoneySpot program helps you to create a multi-tier, consistent, and appealing brand identity. And I give you clear steps on how you can improve your brand or develop a new one. Specifically, I say you should look at how your brand looks aesthetically on packaging, on your website, whether your brand is consistent looking everywhere. You have to have a brand logo, a brand tone, so that the way that you write or create videos should be in a consistent tone. You need a good, catchy slogan. You need to use consistent colors. You need to have a brand pattern. So if you go to my moneyspotprogram.com website, you'll see that I have a leafy pattern and I got that designed. So that's my brand pattern and I use it for both Nano Natural and for the MoneySpot program. And a lot of my printed stuff also has that pattern. And when I did this MoneySpot workshop in London, one of the people was staying at a nearby hotel. And the next morning she was like, Heather, now that you've said that whole pattern thing, I'm seeing patterns everywhere, like for different brands. And she pulled out the hotel stationery, and the envelopes and their pens actually had a consistent pattern. So that was their brand pattern. So it was something I personally just thought of, but she started seeing it in other places as well, and now is implementing it in her business. Your brand needs to have a smell. So if you have a shop, you can diffuse your smell from a diffuser. Or if you've got products like hair products or body products, you can have a core line that has your brand smell. You need to have a brand tune. So if any of you watch me on YouTube, I have a certain theme song that I use in every video. No matter how great the product and the package is, if your brand message is weak or not clear, it won't succeed. So after this call, go back, look at what your brand identity is and see how you can improve it. In the MoneySpot program, we go through each thing as a module and I show you how to implement it. In terms of marketing your products, marketing is all about how people discover your brand. So for you to come to this webinar, I had to market it. If I just put it on my website, you wouldn't have landed upon it. So you either heard about this through my email list, and in the program I teach you about how to build an email list, or you saw it on Facebook. I did some Facebook marketing, and there's so many different avenues. Marketing is all about finding fans cheaply and efficiently, because you don't want to spend a whole load of money on marketing and find that the money that you would have invested in your products is gone. Find your fans and show them some love, and your fans will show you some love in return. Customers that love you will share you. So these are just a few bullet points on marketing, but it's actually the biggest element of the MoneySpot program. So think about how to write effective blogs and articles, how to create effective videos. If you have stage fright, in the program I give you a lot of tips about how to overcome stage fright. I don't know if she's on this call, but one of the people in the Money Spot program, her name's Dalila, and she's the founder of Hug My Hair. She said she didn't want to do video because she didn't think she came off well on video. Last week we did a scarf video together and everyone thought she looked amazing, and if I'm honest with myself, she looked better than I did. Although she didn't have the confidence to do the video, by me saying let's just do this video because it was a win-win. I wanted to show my fans scarf do's, and she's very good at scarf do's because she does them every day, and she looks so good, and now her confidence on doing videos is higher. How to use the social networks effectively. So instead of just having fun on them, how you can lead people to your website. And I've actually got 150,000 fans on Pinterest, 400,000 on Facebook, 40,000 on email, over 5,000 on Instagram, over 3,000 on Twitter. So I try to reach out on all the social networks. How to how to bring more people to your blog without spending much time on it. How to convert readers to subscribers and ultimately to buyers of your products. How to build partnerships with other people and to grow faster. Because as I said, you can't add your way to business. You need to multiply your way to business by partnering with other people. How to get writing gigs with newspapers and magazines. I've done this a few times in the past. Usually I end up getting bored. I have the goal of writing for a newspaper or a magazine, and then I'm like, because once I've achieved it, it feels like it's not fun anymore. How to stop bad news reviews ruining your business. So with your branding and your marketing, you grow a more full brand. So if you develop all the elements of a multi-tier brand, so all the different things I mentioned in branding, and if you market it effectively, things will start to happen for you. Nothing happens overnight. So you have to put in consistent effort and produce consistent output, whether it's consistently writing something or consistently producing a video or consistently chatting on the social networks. And I would say, in my personal estimate, within 12 to 24 months, you should develop a healthy following, and it might also depend on your budget and your effort. At first, I had no money, so it actually just involved a lot of effort, and I couldn't even do a giveaway. That's how broke I was, or how minimal my budget was. So I actually partnered with people that had product and said, why didn't I do giveaways on your behalf? And that's how I was able to give away product without having to buy it myself. If you're fortunate enough to have a budget that you can use on marketing, great. More money means you can afford to hire more people to help you, and you can market in more ways. I worked alone to start off with, but now I have a daily assistant who works half day every day. I had a very tiny budget, and my cash savings had actually ran out. So don't be afraid that a tiny budget will actually limit you. Distribution. This is one of the keys that helped me grow my business, because I live in Great Britain, but my biggest fan base was in America, and I had to find a way of getting products to people fast, so that I didn't lose customers. Your online store, so if you've got a website, leads to very little revenue in the early days, mostly because people, when they want to buy a product nowadays, immediately go to Amazon or to eBay or to another one of these modern day sites. They don't Google it. In this part of the course, I work through fulfillment, fulfilling both internationally and locally, so that your house isn't stocked up with lots of product. It can be a very efficient way of growing a business. How to get into physical stores, how to sell wholesale, how to sell using different types of trade shows. Trade shows are quite expensive, so I always tell you, leave trade shows off for 2 or 3 years and then look at them. Use the easier methods of distributing your product first. I'll teach you the difference between fulfillment and drop shipping. I'll give you incentive strategies that you can use to encourage retail and wholesale buyers to buy your stuff. How to succeed on Amazon. And if you make mistakes on Amazon, it can be extremely expensive. I ended up losing about $10,000 due to some silly mistakes that I made. So I help you to avoid that. How not to get kicked off on Amazon, because if you get black marks for not following their rules, you will get kicked off. How Amazon fulfillment differs from other fulfillment houses, and I give you a little bit of information about how to sell in South Africa and Nigeria if you're abroad. It's still in its early days, but they also have like small fulfillment facilities. So what can you expect if you did join the program? This is what the website looks like, the MoneySpot program. And there are 3 packages that you'll see there for being a full member right away. And I've also got other courses, which is basically if you want to do marketing only, then you can do just that if you click on other courses. And if you don't actually have the money up front to do the program, you can subscribe and pay in very small payments, either every 2 weeks or every month. This is a little bit about what the website looks like. So this is the marketing segments, and these are all drop down boxes of different videos. So that's roughly what it looks like when you get a password and log in. And finally, the investment that you need to make if you did want to join the program. The course used to be £1,997, and I know someone's going to ask, do you have a dollar price? I actually charge only in pounds now because that's how I pay my taxes. But when you make your payment, your bank will immediately convert it to dollars, which a lot of people, will want to know. But I actually reduced that to half. I decided I'd rather have more people doing the program at £997 plus VAT if you're in the UK. VAT is sales tax in the UK, but if you're in the US, you don't have to pay VAT. And this week only, I have a promo code so you can get an extra 20% off. For UK people, this is equivalent to not paying VAT. And if you just type GOAL15 when you want to join as a full member, you will get that 20% off. That 20% off is only if you want to be a full member. If you want to be a subscription member, it's $49.99 every 2 weeks or $69.99 for 2 years. I've reduced the 2 weekly subscription from $59.99 to $49.99. You don't have to put a promo code for this one, but the beauty of doing the subscription is that if you don't like the program, you can unsubscribe right away, and whatever's been paid is not refunded because you receive the information immediately, but you also don't get penalized. You're not wrapped into some contract and have to stay on the program. So if you just want to do the program slowly, and to be honest, even if you're a subscription member, the information that you get with each 2 weekly payment is like so much that it will actually probably take you the whole 2 weeks to implement into your business. So this is probably the most convenient option for a lot of people, whereas the 997 is the best value if you just want to work through the course material very fast. So conclusion, what's this whole program really all about? And it's like I said, it's just living a much more flexible life. I love to help ambitious women who would like to spend more time with their loved ones to do so by creating and managing a rapidly growing product business from the comfort of their own home. That's what this whole program is all about to me. I want to spend time with my family, and I want to be able to pay for a private education for my children and possibly grandchildren. Who should do the program? You should do this course if you're thinking of starting a beauty business or any product business, or if you already have a business and make less than $20,000 a month. This is revenue rather than profit. If you'd like to improve your brand identity or your marketing strategy, it's a good program for you. If you currently make your own products and would like to learn more about how you can get a manufacturer at a reasonable price to release time for your marketing and branding, which you might prefer to do on your own in the early days, then this is a good program for you. If you want access to a network of like-minded entrepreneurs, it's great, because when you work from home, sometimes you feel like I need access to more people that think like me and face the kind of problems that I do. So I've joined some physical meetups, and I also have some Facebook groups that I've joined where I network with other people. And to make 2015 your year, ultimately set SMART goals. Make your goals specific, measurable, achievable, and realistic and timely. If you do want to join the MoneySpot program, just go to nenonatural.com/live. I will now go through the many questions that I was seeing here. If you've got questions, this would be a great time to ask them. So I'm just scrolling to the appropriate point of questions. What motivated you to give up your job? I'd read that. Michelle says, amen to that, Heather. Family is the bedrock of it all. I'm at the stage in life and just really want to do something that benefits all. Great, Michelle. And Kingstown. I know Kingston is America. Where's Kingstown? Yola Lewis, I have 2 businesses that I've started, but this webinar has helped me to see where I've gone wrong. Thank you, Heather. That's fantastic, Yola. April Cole, how can you know if your idea for a product is a good idea or there's a market for it? April, I would create a small quantity of your product so that you don't go bankrupt, and then test that out with the market. In my particular example, when I first did a tester amount, I created 100 units. I made them myself. They took about 6 weeks to sell, but they sold well enough for me to say, I actually like making this product and I'm going to produce it, but I'm not going to go crazy and make like 1,000, given the 100 took 6 weeks to sell. So I've got a contract manufacturer in California. She produces about 222 for me in a go. And as soon as they sell, they send directly to a fulfillment house. As soon as they sell, I get her to produce more. And I'm lucky that she's willing to produce such a small quantity. It means that I never have too much stock. Judith Eastbrook says, thank you, Heather. Please send out the presentation. This is very inspirational. Thank you, Judith. Dava, is it Dava or Dava? I'll say it's Dava. Says, thanks for your response. Mandisa Nlovu says, capital. It'll take me a lifetime to save and raise the amount of money I need as capital. Mandisa, one of the things, I'm going to assume, Mandisa, that you're in South Africa. One of the things that helped me come up with capital was buying my first house. So if we go to one of the very first slides, I'm just going to scroll back. Sorry, I've gone past. This house I bought for £250,000. At the time, mortgages were being flown around like anything. So I had to put down a 5% deposit, which was £12,500. That house has now gone up to £550,000 in value. That's almost $800,000, and the mortgage has been paid down to almost $200,000, which means I'm actually able to take out a little bit of money to invest in something else. In fact, not even if, you should be willing to wait for your dreams to become a reality. If you can put together enough money to either buy a house or build a house in a 5 to 10 year period, you might be surprised by the increase in the value of that house and your ability to raise capital just by virtue of owning that house. So if you're willing, and you should be willing, because if you think I don't have the capital, you're either not going to start at all. You might as well save a little, build something or buy something, and in 10 years time, if you can get enough capital to start what you want, that's when you'll start it. And 10 years always sounds like a long time when you set a goal of 10 years, but it flies by. And realistically, prices in Africa are rising quite fast right now. So in 5 years even, you might have enough of a capital base. Failing that, go to investors. On PitchFest, this lady that you see on the left, she sold her business for £500 million. That's almost $800 million. And now she's an angel investor, and she invests in mostly tech type businesses. But there are lots of investors out there who, if you've got a solid business plan, would be willing to give you some of the money to start your business. So don't think that you have to save everything yourself. Sometimes it's just a matter of investing. Bridget Hodson, please email me your presentation. Awesome. Okay, I will. Ryan, thanks, Heather. This is great. Thanks for the shout out. You're welcome. Eunice, I'm so glad I didn't skip this. I almost slept in. Eunice, we're always so tempted. So I'm glad you made it. I'm really glad you made the call. Michelle Ajayi, she's private. No one can see her comments. I'd like to send you a personal email. I'm seeking direction and could do with some pointers. Michelle, I do get a lot of people asking me for private pointers. Please ask your question on this call or join the Money Spot program. Even if you join the online only program, I do actually get very invested in people who join the program, answer any questions on our closed members only Facebook group. And if people say, oh, I just need a brief call, I'm very willing to do that. So Michelle, please join the program and you can have more access to me. Sabira, oh, you're in Britain, please come sell in South Africa. Sabira, I do come to South Africa sometimes, but as the Money Spot program is online, feel free to join it. We'll interact on the Facebook page. You'll have all the content that you need. So yeah, the program works whether you're in Africa, America, Great Britain. Crystal, how much is it in US dollars? The 997, if you join the full program, the exchange rate is about 1.6, I believe. So 997 pounds would be $1,600. If you're a subscriber and pay the £50, that would be roughly $80 every 2 weeks, which is probably a few hours of work. Let's say you work for $20 an hour, $15 an hour. That's 4 or 5 hours of work you'd have to do in a week in order to do the program. And that's paid every 2 weeks for 24 installments. That allows you to get access to all the information. And obviously, building a business, you shouldn't see it as consuming in the same way as you would with a dress. It's investing because you totally expect to get something back as your business grows. Bella, this is very inspiring. Thanks, Heather. Thanks, Bella. Is that Portsmouth, England? Kumbo Mhone from New York. Mhone, that's a Malawian surname. Or Zambian. Crystal, it will convert it to dollars. Crystal, it will convert it to dollars for you. She only charges in pounds now. Yeah, your bank converts to dollars. So if your PayPal is in dollars, it doesn't matter. Your PayPal immediately converts it for you. Roz says $1,500. Yep, it's $1,500 to $1,600. And obviously much less per time if you're a subscriber. Crystal says thank you. Oops, sorry, I've scrolled down a bit too much. Where was I? Kumbo, how about consulting businesses? No, Kumbo, my program doesn't really work for consulting businesses for the whole thing, but the marketing element only would be good for consulting businesses. So if you go to the moneyspotprogram.com, click on other courses, like the second pink button, and just you can buy just the marketing program. That would help to grow your consulting business. Sarah Donji from Sutton says, fabulous, thank you. Michelle, Kingstown, St. Vincent. Oh, fantastic. Felicia says, I'd love a copy of this presentation, and you will get it. Janine, I'd like to write and publish a book. Would the Money Spot program work for me? Janine, no. It's not specifically for publishing a book. I am hoping in future to write a bit about self-publishing books, but it's not a specific thing I go through on the Money Spot program. Just as a pointer, Janine, go to createspace.com. It's owned by Amazon, and if you're able to figure it out on your own, that's how you'd self-publish a book. But I've actually been through a fabulous book coaching program. And the company that does the book coaching, oh shoot, I forget their names because I did it as part of this Key Person of Influence program. Let me write a note. I'll send you a link for the website on a company that does very good book coaching. So for me, I'm all about helping you achieve what you want to achieve. If I don't do it myself, I'll tell you someone else who does it. Crystal, I'm starting a financial services business and I need financing. What websites would you recommend I research? Crystal, I need more information on what kind of financial services that you'd be providing. But you should, add another question with the exact type of financial services. Laverne, I'm going to the Spring Fair tomorrow in Birmingham Trade Show. Fantastic, Laverne. I've heard of Spring Fair. I had wanted to attend it myself, but because my products are quite well progressed, I'm not attending it. But maybe next year you'll see me there with my littles, Yusi, who will be about a year old then. Heather, if the Kingstown that I'm referring to, then it's in St. Vincent, the Caribbean. Yep, that's where it is. April, thank you. Michelle, yes. Dava, thank you for responding, Dava. I want to join the Money Spot, but I live in the Caribbean. Would the course work for me? Yes, Dava, it would work for you. I have consulted with a few people in the Caribbean about the Money Spot, and one thing they keep telling me about the Caribbean is that people don't trust each other. So I think it would actually even be better for you because I tell you how to reach the less skeptical US market where people are very open-minded, very comfortable with online buying. And in fact, although I live in Great Britain, I started off with the US market because I just felt more comfortable exposing myself to the US market. And I love the US, so it was a good match. It's a good excuse for me to go there every year. Hilda, I missed half of the presentation. Sad face. Bad net connection on my side. Don't worry, Hilda. I'm going to send this presentation after this as a recording. Deva, I'm not even sure if this presentation is recording. So let's all pray that it's actually recording successfully. If this presentation is not recording successfully, I will do this webinar again next week and send the recording then. Sorry for asking so many questions, Deva saying. Don't worry, Deva, I don't mind. Kerry, hello, fellow Caribbean nationals. I'm from Trinidad. Fantastic. Hi, Kerry. Heather, how much capital do you need to begin a product business? You can start with as little as a couple of $1,000s. The only thing it's contingent on is finding a company that's willing to produce a small quantity for you. The reason people usually go for a larger quantity is that the more you produce, the cheaper it is. So it starts looking like more efficient to just put your head down and order a larger amount of product. Also, if your products are quite simple, like body butters or oils, it's so much easier to find a manufacturer that will produce a small quantity for you. So I'd say as little as a couple of $1,000 or £1,000 could do it for you. In my particular case, the first products I did, I invested about $5,000, $8,000, £5,000, $8,000. So that's how I started. Joy, if you have no budget but you can write and blog, what will help with selling the book and the branding to generate income to take the next step? Joy, I would say very realistically. Oh, I've lost that question. Save a little bit so that you have a budget at least for Facebook marketing. Facebook used to be totally free in 2013, but in 2014 they changed their model so that when you make posts to Facebook, they want you to pay to market to more people, and that's what actually brings a lot of traffic to your website. In terms of selling your book, the blogging would help, but a combination of Facebook marketing, and you can spend as little as $5 a day in order to be effective in your Facebook marketing. So I would work out of your no budget situation if you want to make a bigger impact, and try to come up with, say, a $5 a day budget in order to become much more effective in getting people to your website. And if you market effectively on Facebook, that $5 should bring you, say, $15. So when you get the $15 back, you put it back into your business. And that's how you grow your business slowly but surely. Oh, Valerie Campbell from London. Is this Valerie, like my friend Valerie? It must be. She says that's where her folks are from. Oh, I didn't know my friends were in this conference call. Thanks for joining, Valerie. I appreciate that. Laverne, buying a house would be a dream come true. Laverne, it was a dream come true for me. Valerie says, Heather, this is very good at what Valerie says, I'm good at what I do. You won't regret it. Great program. Oh, thanks, Valerie. It's great when my own friends vouch for what they think I do. And I've done a little bit with Valerie on Facebook marketing. And she was also in the KPI program. So she's one of the great connections and contacts that I made. Kudzai from South Africa. I've started buying and building property myself. Well done. But we're currently experiencing increasing interest rates. My property is growing in value, but I'm torn between paying off the current property and buying more property. Kudzai, although I'm not specifically giving property advice, if for the foreseeable future you think that you can get tenants that pay at least most of the mortgage on your current property, I would say this is a good time to buy more property. And over time, as your tenants pay you rent, you chip away at that mortgage and it'll become more affordable. Spread your money over as many properties as you can, and long run, in a 5 to 10 year framework, that is really going to help. Carrie from Spain, Port of Spain. Hi, Deva and Michelle. Barbados and St. Vincent is in the house. Well done to you. Kudzai from Joburg. Sorry, I've got questions coming in. Kudzai says, amen to that. Property in Johannesburg North are increasing at about 25% per annum for the past 3 years, but the interest rates are not looking great. Yeah, interest rates will always go up and down, but the more you can buy now, the better it'll be in the future. Just try to make sure you have a mortgage such that your tenants will pay off most of it. Fatu, thanks Heather for sharing your knowledge. Is the money spot Would it be helpful for clothing company? Yes, Fatu, clothing businesses, it would be great for. Kudzai is torn. We can discuss that more later, especially if you join the program. More questions coming in. Lost my chain.
Torn.
Perfect. Sorry, I keep losing my spot. Perfect. Roz, is it not risky to remortgage? Are there any other ways to raise finance? Going to investors is another way. The reason I chose to remortgage my own property is that it's the quickest way for me to raise a lot of money without me having to guard and ask people for it. But I'm remortgaging it at a level that my tenants can pay it off. So it's not that risky at all. As long as you've got properties in areas where it's easy to rent, like I do, it's easy for you to raise finance. Hilda says, true, Heather, prices in Africa are rising, especially Kenya. The cost of housing has almost doubled in the last 5 years. That's horrible. I actually fear for my mother continent. Although it's great for people who own property, but the difference between the rich and poor is just unsustainable. Laverne, the Money Sport program sounds ideal for me, but I currently have zero income and have so far only been offered a 0 hours contract. I might have to save before I can join, but I'm busy trying to get my business started. Laverne, I definitely recommend that you sort out your job situation first, because it's much easier to build a business if you've got a bit of income coming in from a job before you start, or if you've got savings. So definitely invest in books at the moment. If you go to nenonatural.com/books, I've got books that I think are fabulous for starting a business. So excuse me, go to nenonatural.com/books, and if you can't invest in my program, which is absolutely fine, read the books that I have put as 5-star, and your mind will just grow in ways that you currently can't even imagine. April says, how can I start a skincare business? I'm totally not a chemist. April, the Money Sport program would be great for you. The way you would do it is find a contract manufacturer, and on the Money Sport program, I direct you in terms of a good resource for finding contract manufacturers who make products for you to your stated standard. Kudzai in South Africa says, Money Sport program, how fast must one go through it, or can I move at my own pace if I pay once off? Kudzai, you can go through it at your own pace if you pay once off. You could actually read all the content, let's say in 2 or 3 weeks, but actually implementing the knowledge into your business, I say will take a minimum of 12 months. And in fact, 12 months is the stated amount of time that I tell people to go through it in order for it to be effective. So sign up to the program, go through it at your own pace, and go through it, I guess, the knowledge as fast as you want, but make sure you go back for implementing. Sometimes you can't force stuff to be implemented faster than you want. So for instance, if you need a logo made, a website made, you'll have several things going at the same time, and you have all the knowledge that you need from the program, but those things might happen at a different pace than you'd ideally want them to. Shanita says, the audio is so choppy. Will this presentation be available later? Yes, it will, and I hope the recording won't be choppy. But if it turns out that my recording hasn't happened properly, I will do it again next week. Lila, does the 2-week subscription include inclusion onto the network with other entrepreneurs? Lila, yes, it does. If you stay subscribed for at least 2 months, you have lifetime membership. So even if after 2 months you decide you don't want to be a gold member anymore, you will still have access to the Facebook group for networking, although you won't have all the content that happens after the 2-month point. If you subscribe to the monthly version, which I think is a bit slow because it takes you 2 years, then you'll have to stay subscribed to be a permanent member on the Facebook group. Let's go down further. Oh my gosh, we still have 120 people signed off. Some people have gone to, I guess, to attend to other things since this was supposed to be a 1-hour call. There's someone on this chat who said they can help with the book publishing. I'm scrolling down to the questions. Chanita says the audio is choppy. Yes, I went through that. Lila, does the 2-week subscription? Yes. Rati says, hi Heather, what financial or business knowledge do you recommend before one ventures into business, especially if one doesn't have any prior business knowledge? Rati, go to the books that I've read, nenonatural.com/books, and read all the books that I rate as 5-star. They will definitely help you grow. Kumbo from New York. I'm Malawian. I actually went to KA with Tiamo. She was a few years ahead of me. Tiamo's my little sister. Yes, she's fabulous, isn't she? Totally love my little sister. Thanks for joining, Kumbo. Crystal, thank you for sharing your wisdom and knowledge. You're welcome. Janine, thank you. Chantal, I can help with the book publishing. I just published on CreateSpace and I would gladly email pointers. So Chantal, I don't know if you'd have to share your email. All I can say is that I self-published 12 books on CreateSpace. But when I did the book publishing course as part of this Key Person of Influence program, I learned things that I didn't know, and they will help me self-publish better in future. But for the moment, I'm actually going with a hybrid model of publishing where someone does all the work for me, just because it saves me time in this first year where I'm a mother. Renee, thank you so much. I have to sign off to settle my kids. Dad has reached his limit. Ha ha, this was wonderful. Well, bye Renee, I assume you're long gone by now. Claude, I have an awesome shampoo, hair food, just to name a few products in my health and beauty store. What are some tips you could give me to help get my product in the hair stores and salons? This is all about getting in touch with these stores and writing appealing letters to them that show them the benefits of them stocking your products. Basically, think about how you benefit them rather than how they benefit you. So if you've already got fans that you know of in the area based on your Facebook following or something, you can include this in letters that you write. On the Money Spot program, I give you a set of things that you should have in a pack that you use to approach any sort of store for them to stock you. So it's all about thinking in terms of how they benefit rather than how you benefit. And if you've got a consistent and appealing brand and manage to get yourself a following, you'll be a naturally appealing brand to them. This is actually a big question, which we could discuss a lot more on if you join the Money Spot program. Pay the first installment. You'll see the kind of content you get. And if you don't like it, you know what? You only lost $80. But what I think is you'll love it because no one else who's subscribed has unsubscribed. And we can go into a bit more detail about getting into stores. Although that is one of the later modules, I could give it to you earlier because you've already got a product and have already made some progress. Chantal, thank you for your time today, Heather. This has been very informative. Thanks, Chantal. Crystal, I plan to offer tax preparation, credit consulting, debt management services, and I want to add a service to my business each year that adds value to others' lives. Fantastic. Crystal, you might benefit from the marketing segment only, so go ahead and consider joining as that. Victoria Rolls, Heather, you mentioned finding contract manufacturers. How do we do this? Thank you. We appreciate your vast knowledge and generosity. There is a LinkedIn group where you have to ask permission to join. I'm just going to go to that LinkedIn group and get the name. It's a contract manufacturers LinkedIn group. Give me 1 second. Danielle, I recently started my own health and wellness business with an amazing company that embodies exactly what you've described, Heather. The beauty of having world-class products, a network of like-minded individuals, along with top-notch marketing, branding, and distribution already handled is incredible. Not to shamelessly plug or anything, but if you or anyone is open to taking a look at the opportunity, feel free to get in touch. Danielle.tamara.is@gmail.com. Yep, that's fine, Danielle. They seem to embody everything that I think is great. Ratty, great presentation. I'm inspired. Thanks, Ratty. Stephanie from Hobson, I'm in Colorado and would like a link for publishing a book. Thank you. Also help me with my fears and procrastination. Oh, that's great, Stephanie. CreateSpace is CREATE space SPACE.com. Go there for self-publishing resources. I'm just going back to look for my LinkedIn group. LinkedIn.com. Connections, interests, groups. So the group is called View More. Private label and contract manufacturing. So go into LinkedIn, and if you want to find contract manufacturers, join the private label and contract manufacturing group. It's a closed group, so you need to ask for permission first. And once you have that permission, go on and ask the question you have. So I want to start making X product. If you are a contract manufacturer in this field, please give me your details. Or if you know a contract manufacturer, please give me their details. Stephanie, I'm in Colorado and would like a link for... Oh, sorry, I've answered a question. Michelle, I'm married to someone in an itinerant position, so I realize a 9-to-5 would not work to help add value to the family finance. I've tried my hand at selling costume jewelry and African material and was successful in Guyana, but then we moved and things halted. So I'm now trying how to figure out what to do. Michelle, the program would actually be good for you as well, because it would help you how to handle your branding and marketing elements to bring more people to what is something people already like, costume jewelry and African material. In fact, African material is something I've once considered myself, but I decided to stick to hair for now. May, is this session recorded? I think I'm recording it, but I'll only find out at the end if it worked properly. Marsha, what resources could you recommend to help in creating a website? I personally like Weebly.com, and I have a tutorial. I'll make a note. I'll send you a link to my tutorial on building a website with Weebly. Weebly is spelled Weebly.com. They're very user-friendly, drag-and-drop facilities, and it would be easy for you to do it yourself. A lot of people use WordPress, but I personally don't like WordPress. Carrie, I'm a part-time freelancer, writer... Excuse me there. I'm a part-time freelancer, writer, and cake decorator. I'd like to create an app to help freelance writers and cake decorators. In addition, ebooks, and I'm currently researching a product for cake decorators. I know the MoneySpot will assist me with achieving my goals. Carrie, it actually really would, especially with the product bit. But also, I've created an app in the past, so I have quite a lot of knowledge on how to create apps. So I look forward to chatting with you in the future. Roz, fantastic presentation. Thanks, Heather. We'll be signed up for the MoneySpot. Thank you, Roz. April, do you have a real estate license? No, I don't need a real estate license because I'm not a realtor. I'm just a private investor. Bridget, Chantel, please email me. Yep, you guys are seeing each other's messages. Hilda, Heather, I think the most important thing I've learned today is saving, which I'm horrible at, but I need to do this. Hilda, if you go to my website, in fact, I'll send a link, but my book on how to build super savings, I'm going to make on a note on that. I'll send a link to that. Would help you. Savings is something everyone has to work at all the time. Even if you're not good at savings now, if you work on it, you will get better. Cadney, hi. In fact, half the people who joined this call have left already. I'm gonna continue reading all the questions until no one is asking any more questions. For those that did join the call, I just want to say thank you. Have a great Saturday, and I look forward to you joining the MoneySpot program. Remember that if you're a subscriber, you will not be obliged to stay subscribed. So join the program, and we will be able to work through whatever you're working through in quite a short space of time. If you decide you want to do something else, unsubscribe. The investment is very minimal to be a subscriber. So thanks and goodbye to everyone that wants to leave the call now. If you've got questions and you want them answered, stay signed on. I'm going to continue answering questions. Cadney, I think that's how it's pronounced. Hi, my name is Kadeen. Sorry, it's Kadeen Bramwell, and I'm just 20 years old, a college student. Fantastic age to start thinking of a business. Because for me to be living the life that I am at 31, I started thinking early, like the age of 20. How can I start a beauty business when I only have a part-time job because I go to school full-time? Cadney, are you able to afford the bi-weekly payment, so once every 2 weeks of roughly $80? Because the knowledge that you need to build your business is actually in that. If you don't have those resources, and in the long run, it'll look like you invested literally nothing because of the benefit it'll bring to your business, go look at the books I've reviewed at nenonatural.com/books and read the business books that I said I 5-star. That will be the first step in you building a wealthier life. Laverne, I have 2 of your books. The one, Black Girl Getting to Wealthy, and the savings one. Have read the Black Girl Getting to Wealthy, and it's been an eye-opener for me. Thanks, Laverne. Shanita, appreciated. Great. Eunice, I can help with sending the links. 2015 execution planning 2 goal setting plans. Eunice, it's okay. I'll send the links after this. Kudzai, super. Thank you so much for your time and advice. Looking forward to learning more from you. You're an inspiration and a blessing. Thanks, Kudzai. Eunice, correcting a typo. Roz, Heather, what is best time for financial vehicle? What is best type of financial vehicle for a property portfolio? A limited company, trust, onshore, offshore. So Roz, if you're in Great Britain, I would, in fact, this is something we should probably discuss offline, but you can actually create a property vehicle that is tax efficient. I would actually get an accountant to give you some advice on this, like a proper accountant, so that you can pay the least amount of tax possible, especially as purchasing properties can be quite tax intensive. Roz, Nelson, I will look up your email after this call. I actually know a lady who's a specialist in buying property, so I'll put you in touch with her. I've put a note of your name on my piece of paper. Like I say, if I'm not a specialist in something, I refer you to someone who is. Laverne, you mentioned a LinkedIn group. Yep, it's the private label and contract manufacturers group. In fact, that's the one. Just go to LinkedIn, look up, and I'll repeat this just like I did before. Look for private label and contract manufacturing. April. Oh, you also asked, what is the group name and is LinkedIn better than using forums? LinkedIn is actually very good for like contract manufacturers. If you find a forum that's great for a specific thing, like let's say marketing, there are a couple of groups on Facebook, then please join them also. April, so it's not a bad idea to join and get info every 2 weeks. I can get access to all information, but I have time to digest it and implement it. Awesome. April, that's a great idea. One thing I found with the internet is that there's a lot of rubbish information. The benefit of the Money Spot program is I give you information where I've really done it and I've really implemented, and I give you the things that actually work. You're absolutely right that taking time to digest the knowledge you pay for can take a bit of time, but I make the program such that you're not spending hours and hours, and I give you the information in easily digestible bite-sized chunks. So go ahead. Within a couple of weeks, 2 or 3 weeks, you'll figure out whether it's working for you or not. And trust me, I think you will think it's working. Michelle, thank you, Heather, for sharing. I really enjoyed your presentation. Thank you, Michelle. Elaine, this has been very inspirational. Thank you for taking the time to share. I'll be signing up to the Money Spot. I look forward to welcoming you, Elaine. I'm sorry, I didn't hear where you self-published your book. Can you say the name again or the website? Also, will they allow children's books? Yeah, of course they will. It's createspace.com. CREATE space the regular way SPACE.com. It's owned by Amazon. The thing about children's books is that they're usually in color, and color books are more expensive to produce than non-color books. One way you might work around this is if you're making it for older children, like Roald Dahl for instance, you can have it in black and white, so it'll be much cheaper for you to purchase, and you can make a better margin on your books. Roald Dahl is hands down one of my favorite authors, and the fact that the drawings in his books are in black and white doesn't impact how great of an author he is. Shireen says, thanks, Heather. Lauren says, I can't hear anything anymore. Oh, the sound seems to have gone. Everyone's saying bye. Thank you, Heather. Thanks. I think we lost Heather. It's over.
Shit. What happened?
Oh no, it seems like...
Timed out?
Yeah, we must have timed out after an hour and a half.
Well, at least you said goodbye to everyone.
Yep, it seems like all the questions are done, and a lot of people couldn't hear me. I can't see any really pertinent questions here, just a lot of thank yous and quite a few people saying that they'll join up. And I'm very honored, and I look forward to 2015 for me helping a good portion of women to live the life they want. Guys, please congratulate yourself for taking out an hour and a half on a Saturday afternoon to join a conference call. After this call, if there's anything you want me to write more about, please send me an email and I'll try to do more webinars, at least one webinar in the future. Let me type that. I'm typing right now, so I'm not going to be speaking. Thank you very much. All I have answered all questions. If you want me to host more webinars in the future, please suggest topics.